Yannina Casillas is a graduate of UCLA and now a first-year law student at UC Hastings. She spent part of her spring term working with CAIR as a fellow on a local civic engagement efforts, as well as being part of the first ever Muslim Day at the Capitol. So to give you guys a little bit of insight of the workings in CAIR and to hear directly from someone in the office, I would like to present to you Yannina Casillas.
I'm a little short. Hello, everyone. First, I'd like to start off to thank all the employees here at the DoubleTree for doing an amazing job serving us. If we could please give them a round of applause. And all the volunteers as well. So I am the daughter of Mexican immigrants and a convert to Islam. I first came into contact with CAIR at UCLA. In the beginning, I was only familiar with my story as a first-generation college student. I was aware of my community's history of discrimination based on our ethnicity, based on our immigration status, and I was coming to a new university in the hopes that I would somehow make an impact on my community. And as I was attempting to do that, I also found Islam. So at UCLA, as soon as I converted, there was discussion in the LA city government of creating an ordinance to have Muslims register, as well as converts, that they're Muslim in the community. And that was one of the most frightening and horrifying experiences that I felt. I met amazing community members, and I found an amazing religion, and I just wanted to grow with everyone. And I felt that it was very saddening, because it harkened back to stories I heard from my grandparents, where the U.S. government had Operation Wetback, and many Latinos were actually deported even though they were citizens or had papers, and my grandparents were those people. They were here legally, but because of racial discrimination, they were sent out of the country. And I realized that the Muslim community was suffering very similar hate and discrimination in this country. So thankfully, because of CAIR, they were able to advocate on our behalf and ensure that our voices would be heard, and that ordinance did not pass. We had different community members across different religions, different ethnicities come together and speak out against this. And that was the first time that I encountered CAIR, and I began to see the impact that they had. And throughout my entire experience at UCLA, there were instances where groups on campus, as well as outside groups, were trying their best to stop our efforts on campus as an MSA because they thought we were a terrorist group. And the first thing we would say if something ever happened was, we need to call CAIR. And Hussam Elouche in Southern California and the entire staff were always there whenever we needed them. And that is the dedication that CAIR has. And that is the type of connection that they have in this community. And that is relevant here as well in San Francisco and Bay Area. So as I was working here in San Francisco, I was working for about a month through my fellowship, and my purpose was to have meetings with local government officials. And I set up a few meetings, and we met with some officials, and many people might not think that these meetings were important, but some of these city officials were actually on our listserv and never met a CAIR representative, and it was the first time we got to talk. And even some city officials, their relatives were Muslim, and it was the first time they got to see us, and they knew mosques locally, and they wanted to get in touch with their local mosque, but they didn't know how. And it was just a great opportunity for us to really connect. And although our office is small, we've done many great things, and we've been working hard to make sure that our voices are heard. And as you heard before, we had our first day at the Capitol, which was amazing because we had members of our community, old, young, immigrants born in the US. All our members came to talk to representatives about issues that were relevant to us. But I think my greatest memory was actually after my fellowship. I participated as a mentor for the Muslim Youth Leadership Program, and I got to spend about 4 days with Muslim youth from across California, and my mentees were amazing. We stayed up all night talking about the DREAM Act, talking about the state budget, applying to higher educations, real issues, and they cared. And that really impacted me, because I know when I was in high school, I did not care for anything other than soccer and probably what was going on in the media with famous Britney Spears or whatever, whoever was famous at the time. And that just gives me hope, because CAIR understands the importance of connecting with the youth and empowering them and giving them the ability to understand issues and want to make something of themselves and want to empower themselves. And I hope that you all see the importance of CAIR from what you will hear today. But also, I am really happy to be celebrating 2 decades of great work that CAIR has done, and I hope everyone in this room will do their part to ensure that CAIR continues its work. And thank you all so much, and I hope you have a great dinner.